Hey, what's going on, YouTube? I'm finally done with phase 2. I'm finally done with the trainer. I'm back at the house. I've been back for a few days now. Loving every second of it. Love seeing the family. Love spending time with the kids. It's great. Sucks that it's going to be over in a few days and we'll be right back out there, but I'm done with phase 2 finally. So on to phase 3. We'll see how it is. So, done with phase 2. Back, enjoying the home time. Sorry, I'm going out and grabbing some stuff real quick. Figured out this is like the first time I've been away from the family, so figured I'd use this opportunity to make a video. But I'm done with phase 2, done with my trainer, which, by the way, he was a really great trainer. I couldn't ask for a better trainer. Minor, he's a really good dude. We'll get into more of that in a little bit, but shout to Minor. If he's watching this, you're a good trainer, man. Good trainer. I'm glad I had you as a trainer. But so yeah, I'm just chilling at home time, enjoying the time I have here. But I go back out on the 1st of November, so it's good that I get to do trick or treat with the family. I go back out on the 1st, so it's Tuesday. I'm excited, man, to start phase 3. I'm really looking forward to it. So just go ahead and get into like how phase 2 was, because I know that's what everybody's watching for, is just like the updates. So I got the call from my FM saying that they found me a trainer and telling me, you know, when the dates were, you know, what I needed, all this kind of stuff. I contact the trainer. He calls me a couple days afterwards, introduced himself, saying, hey, you know, telling me when we're launching out, what time to be there at the terminal, everything like that. He launched from the Conley terminal, which was great for me because he's from Georgia, I'm from Georgia, so it just worked out like that. Met him up there. He, you know, like I said, really good guy. I got all my stuff in the truck. You know, we went over the ground rules. Hey, this, you know, this is what I expect from you. You know, hey, as long as you know, don't mess up my truck, don't make it dirty, you know, take showers, you know, be a regular human being, we'll get along fine. So that was great. Then pretty much how phase 2 went with the trainer was, so we're flatbed, so we ran Monday through Saturday, load after load after load, driving, and then we would stop early on Saturday because we'd start our 34-hour. So we'd stop early on Saturday, take a 34-hour, and then kick back running Monday morning, bright and early morning. We were waking up 2:30, 3 o'clock every morning. You know, if you start later than that, if you start like 5 o'clock in the morning, by the time your 14-hour clock's done, or you know, your 11-hour, by the time you get done working, who is that? By the time you get done working, you ain't gonna be able to find a parking place at a truck stop. You're gonna have to. It's gonna be hard to find a parking place anywhere. These truck stops and parking areas, boy, they fill up quick. There's a real big issue that people smarter than me need to figure out. Like, we got truckers parking on ramps, exit ramps, just everywhere, man. It doesn't seem safe. And I'm not blaming the truckers at all. You know, they can't find parking and they have to sleep, you know, so it's rough. It's rough. So we started extra early so we could make sure we got a parking spot every day. We get showers, you know, everything like that, which he paid for the first couple of my showers until the Loves kicked in, because Roehl, they give you 60 free showers a month with Loves. So that's awesome. It's really awesome. I always try to find a Loves you can. If you go to a Pilot or something, he paid for my first couple of Pilot showers. He then let me start using my card for gas so I could start earning rewards. A lot of trainers they'll let you activate it, but they won't let you use it after that. He was letting me use it more than his. I felt bad because I was taking points away from him, but he wanted me to earn some points and get some shower credits and everything. So my hat's off to him again. He was a really great dude. But yeah, we run and gunned Monday through Saturday, stopped early Saturday, took a 34-hour reset every weekend. That's just something I guess flatbedders do, because a lot of the people we deliver to and everything is closed on the weekend. So most flatbedders have to, this is what he told me, have to take a 34-hour on the weekend, which was great because by the time we were taking our 34-hour, we had like 2 hours left on our 70. So we needed a reset. And apparently flatbed don't run on recaps. So it's just all stuff I'm learning. The driving wasn't bad. Waking up that early, driving those early hours, definitely going to take some getting used to, but it wasn't bad. The driving wasn't that bad. It's pretty easy. The city, especially on the interstate, but the city driving, it can be a little hectic. There's some tight turns and some tight areas out there, man, in some of these places you're going to be going to. Flatbed, we didn't really have to back in a lot of the places we went to, so you don't get as much backing practice as say a dry van or a reefer would. I mean, we back in at truck stops and all that and everything, but you're not gonna, as a flatbedder, you're not gonna get as much backing as a dry van and a reefer. So my backing may not be the best. I mean, I did decent. We 45-degree back was my bread and butter, and I didn't really have a huge problem with the backing. He said I did really good overall. So, but man, some of them, especially when they sent us to the Northeast, like New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, up there, man, some tight roads. And Northeast, man, y'all need to get y'all shit together. There's some of them states have like one truck stop in the entire state. Like it's horrible. That was the only time during the whole time I was out that we didn't get to take a shower every night, was when I was in the Northeast, because there was 2 nights where we had to, one, we had to make an area at a rest area, and then the other one we parked in this, it was kind of like a small BP, but it had like 5 truck spots, but it didn't have a shower or anything, and luckily there was nobody parking there, so we got lucked out with one of them. But Northeast, man, y'all need to get it together. It's horrible driving up there. I can see why most truck drivers I talk to don't want to drive up there. It's god awful. We spent most of our time in Ohio, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. That was where the bread and the butter of most of our loads were. He did say, "Whoo, that sun is bright." Need my sunglasses. He did say they will send you out west too. He goes out west a lot too, but he did say most of the time we'll be in that Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, around those states is our bread and butter, is where we're going to be at most of the time. But he does go out to Colorado, California, Nevada, Wyoming, all those states out west. He does go out there a lot. Sorry, y'all. That sun is no joke right now. And of course, I didn't bring my sunglasses. But that's kind of how our routine was. Nothing really. We drove. They'll send you a workflow in the little PC they have in the computer. It's a step-by-step process. Really hard to mess up. They literally go step-by-step everything they want from you. They'll send you the load information. It has everything you need. You have your fuel stops, where you're picking up from, where you're delivering, what type of commodity is, generally roughly the weight that the shipper says it's going to be, which is never right, but that's why you have to go to them cat scales after every load. It just has all your information, and then you start it and it just walks you step by step. Okay, hey, You're departing from your location now. Okay, hey, you're arriving there. Okay, you're loading, unloading there. Or your customer check-in, check-out, you're unloading, you're loading, you're departing. How you got to put in the information, like the BOL that the shipper gives you. You got to put all that information in there, or it's going to ask you to, like, it already has it, but it'll ask you to, reinstate, just to make sure you have everything correct. You depart, you arrive at your fuel stop. Hey, I'm fueling, I put this much in there, this is my odometer. Okay, I'm departing from the fuel stop. Hey, I arrived at the receiver, I'm unloading. It literally walks you step by step. It's impossible to mess up. It's fucking baby proof. Can't talk today. It's really hard to mess up, so they do a good job on that. They need to update their PCs though. Roehl use some older, I mean, they work, so I guess if they work, then they're not going to change for more expensive stuff. I'm not the business person. I don't handle the money, but they do use some ancient technology, it seems, but it works. It has its own co-pilot system. The route's already built in. They have pre-approved routes, so they want you to go. You're going to go here, 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 here. Now, if you get into a situation where you're like, hey, this route's wanting me to go this way, but I'm looking at this atlas as as you're doing your pre-trip or something like that. Hey, I'm seeing this route is actually faster, but it's 30 miles out of the way. But if I take this road, I'll get there faster. You'll call in route and planning and all that. Go over it with them. Tell them why you think it's better. They'll be like, okay, no, you're right. Go ahead, go do that one. So you can, you can do your own route if it's better for the company, if it saves them money. It's better for the gas mileage, it's faster, stuff like that. But you can't just be like wanting to take any road you want to. You have to go over with their pre-approved routes where they send you. They're paying for everything. So the routes they make, I think it's like computer generated, but it's like they're made to be what saves them on fuel the most. Like they're the most fuel efficient routes and stuff like that. But yeah, so everything's set up for you. It's foolproof. It's really easy. In phase 2, you do have to call into your FM, and they call them modules, but they're just having conversations with them. They're going to ask you, each conversation is about different stuff. You have 6 conversations total. You're going to have those within the first 2 weeks. They'll tell you when you call them the first time, hey, I want you calling me these dates, this time. We'll have our conversation. They'll tell you the topic that the conversation is going to be on, so you can study, or you can ask your trainer questions or whatever. Write down any questions you have. I'm good at remembering stuff, so like I didn't really write down a lot of stuff. But if you have trouble, like if you think of a question and then you'll forget it, write it down so you can ask your FM next time. But you'll have the conversations. They take anywhere from 15-20 minutes. Some conversations 5 minutes. I say 15-20 minutes. I meant 5-20 minutes. Some conversations really short. Like 2 of them are kind of lengthier, but most of them are pretty short. So they don't take long as you kind of know the answers and know what you're talking about, and walk your FM through some of the stuff. Questions they ask you is not like super hard questions. Your trainer will be able to tell you a lot of the stuff y'all are going to talk about, a lot of stuff you need to know. Everything's going to be pertaining to your job. After you finish all 6 conversations, your FM will talk to your trainer about you starting solo loads, if he thinks you're good to start solo loads. And pretty much solo loads, my FM said how he handles solo loads is he lets the trainer figure out how they want to do solo loads. So some trainers will say, hey, it's solo, meaning you're doing everything, meaning you're doing the pre-trip, you're driving all the time, you're the one strapping and tarping the load. I'm not going to help you. I'm just going to stand here. You will have some trainers that are like that. They make you do everything. Then there's trainers like my trainer, which is, I love him for it. He let me do the majority of it. Okay, my solo loads, I did the majority of the driving, I did the majority of the strapping and everything, but he still drove. He would drive like, it depends, say it was a day we're just driving all day, I would drive like 7-8 hours, he'd drive like 2-3 hours. So he would still drive, but I drove more. He would help me strap. He would let me throw them, set them up, you know, say, hey, this load needs this many straps right here. He'd let me do that part, and then after I threw them and everything, he'd help me tighten them and all that. And then we didn't actually get a lot of loads that we had to tarp. We got 2 loads that we had to tarp. All the other loads were either relays that were already tarped, or we didn't have to tarp them, which sucks because I feel like I need more experience with tarping. Tarping was a pain in the ass. Those lumber tarps are heavy as shit. They're like 100, 150 pounds. And I didn't get a lot of experience with tarping them. So I wish we would have got more tarp loads that weren't already tarped. But I'm sure once I start doing it myself, I'll pick up on it really fast, and then it'll be no problem. But tarping, man, tarping and untarping, that shit sucks. That shit sucks, especially when it's freezing cold out there, raining, sleeting, snowing, whatever. It was already snowing. We were in upper Michigan when we were out. I was like, damn. I'm from Georgia. I'm like, damn, it's snowing already. It's October. But yeah, so my trainer, he was awesome with my solo loads. So you do 5 solo loads, and then after you're done with your 5 solo loads, you'll speak to your FM, and then they'll schedule you for your DSE. Okay, and all that is once you have at least 19 working days. They say on average it'll be more like 23, 24 working days. It's always different. Mine just so happened to be exactly 19 working days is when I did my DSE. I was able to get the conversations knocked out real quickly and get my 5 solo loads done real quickly, because we were getting loads like left and right, man. So I was able to get it all done pretty quickly. So after you do your solo loads, your FM will schedule you a DSE. And all a DSE is, okay, and your FM is going to stress this to you, it's not a test. It's not like your CDL test or anything like that. It's kind of like a review. Your trainer's going to drop you off at a terminal, whatever terminals you're closer to. I did mine in Gary, because that's the terminal we did 2 34-hour resets in Gary. We were around Gary a lot, and Gary's right outside of Chicago, so we were in that area a lot. But he's going to drop you off the terminal. You're going to meet with an instructor there, and the instructor's pretty much, he's going to give you the key, and you're going to pre-trip the truck. You're going to couple to the trailer, you know, properly. You're going to pre-trip it, and he's going to take you out on a drive, and then when y'all get back, he's going to tell you to back and uncouple. He's going to be watching you everything and just, you know, seeing how you're doing this stuff. So it's not a test. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I looked at it as a test. I treated it as a test, but they say it's not a test. It's just a review to see how you're doing everything, and to make sure that your trainer was teaching you all the correct things, that you're doing everything correctly. After you're done with the DSE, you know, he'll go over it with you. He'll say, hey, this is what you did good, this is what you might need work on. Me, he said, overall I did great. He said there was one thing that he saw that I needed, well, not needed help on. He just says to be more careful on, like when they teach, when they were instructing us in Connolly, they said if you turn from the left lane, you have to, you know, if you're turning left and you start in the left lane, you got to finish in the left lane, which technically is true as a former law enforcement officer. If you're going for the rule of the road, technically, yes. If you're turning left lane, you got to finish the left lane, vice versa, all that kind of stuff. So there was a turn we were coming up on, and since the instructor was with me, I knew I needed to get off this exit that was like an immediate right from the turn. There was cars behind me. So my gut, what common sense was telling me was to just get all the way over to the right immediately when you're turning to get over. But then I was like, oh shit, an instructor's watching me. I was always taught in the instructors, hey, if you got to finish in the left-hand lane. So I finished in the left-hand lane. He was like, oh, get over, these cars are gonna pass you. And I'm like, fuck, I should have just listened to my instinct. And that's what he told me. He said part of the 4-step method, the approach and the setup and all that is seeing where you need to go and making sure you're going to set yourself up for success. He's like, if you would have finished in the left-hand lane, like I know they taught you, but he said if you would have done that here, cars would have came around you, you wouldn't have been able to make your exit. So he's like, you got to drive with common sense, which is what my gut instincts was telling me to do. But because an instructor was sitting with me, I didn't want to do that, and then he'd be like, oh, why didn't you finish in the left-hand lane? So it was kind of one of those type of situations. But other than that, overall, he said I did good. So he'll call your FM after you're done with your DSE. You'll talk to your FM if everything goes good. Now, if you do, goddamn son, if you do your DSE and say you need work, you need help on something, your FM will schedule you a refresher course or something that'll go out with an instructor and they'll help you work on your skills. I didn't need that, so luckily I didn't have to do that. But if you don't need it and everything goes good with your DSE, your FM will be like, all right, we'll go on to the next part, which is getting your truck. Now, if my truck was at the Gary terminal or Marshville terminal, I would have had to, like, say I was in Gary already, and say if my truck was at the Gary terminal, I would have got everything set up in it there, and then they would have gave me loads to get back to Connolly to get back home. If I was at the Marshville terminal, they would either had a driver drive me up to Marshville terminal, pick up the truck, get it all set up, and then give me loads to get me back home. Or if they didn't have a driver, they would have flown me up there. But my truck was in Connolly, thank God. So instead of immediately having to doing loads on your own and driving back down, they flew me from Chicago to Atlanta. My fiance picked me up in Atlanta, drove me to the terminal. I went to my truck, which I wanted a Freightliner, but I got a 2021 International, which my FM put me on the Freightliner list. I think Roehl's eventually switching to nothing but Freightliners, but they still have Internationals. So I got an International, so it sucks because my trainer's truck's a Freightliner, so I just got so used to a Freightliner. Now I got to readjust myself to an International. I got to relearn this truck that I've never driven. I've never driven an International, but that's the one I got. And I was supposed to, that day when I got back, go over all because I'm flatbed, you gotta have a minimum amount of equipment like straps, chains, bungees, all that kind of stuff, that you have to have a minimum. So he sent me the equipment list. It's like, hey, make sure you have all this set up. Well, I went there to do that night. There was only 2 mechanics in the shop at Connolly, and neither one of them knew how to do the equipment stuff. And they're like, hey, you got to come back one morning at 6 o'clock when the equipment guy's here. So since I gotta be at Connolly at 7:30 on Tuesday, I'm just gonna go there at 6, get all the equipment stuff sorted out beforehand, which I called my FM, talked to him, he said everything, that's all good. So then I just drove home from Connolly, about an hour and a half, and I've just been enjoying home time. Now when I go back to Connolly on Tuesday to go out, after I get done with my equipment stuff at 7:30, I have it's called a close quarters course. They have you do a close quarters course in phase 3. Sometimes you do it at the end of phase 3, sometimes you do it at the beginning. It just depends on when your FM schedules you. Mine scheduled me for before I leave, and it is what it sounds like, a close quarters course. They run you through a course set up to be very tight, to see how you do in close quarter situations. It's not a test. You're going to be riding with an instructor. He's going to be pretty much telling you how to set up and everything like that. This is what I've been told. I haven't done it yet, so I don't want to say that this is exactly how it is. This is just what I've been told. He's going to ride with you. He's going to kind of tell you how the course is, the layout, how to set yourself up, everything like that, and you're going to do the course. Again, it's kind of like a DSE. If the instructor sees something that you need help with, you'll probably have to go out before they give you loads. You'll have to go out and practice with what you need help with, what they think you need help with. Sorry, I'm at a, Jesus Christ, cars just keep coming both ways. Come on, any second. There we go. But yeah, if you do good on the close quarters course, then you're good. They start giving you loads. And he said as soon as you're done with the close quarters course and he gets the call saying that I'm good, they will start sending me loads. So that's coming in phase 3. Now he did tell me at the end of phase 3, you'll do another DSE. Like what you did at the end of phase 2, you'll do another DSE. And all that is to make sure that while you've been driving by yourself, you've been driving the railway. You've been driving safe. You've been driving slow. You've been staying back. You're just driving the way they want you to drive, and you've retained all that. You're not driving some foolish fucking way or something that's going to endanger somebody. They're very big. So far, what I've seen, Roehl is huge on safety, man. Like they preach it and they mean it. Like they're very big on safety. They don't fuck around when it comes to that. So, and I like that. I like that. I think they're setting you up for success in a trucking career, where if you got with a company that didn't put you through all these little tests and courses and preach this safety to you and constantly giving you updates and constantly giving you stuff, videos and stuff to help you keep up on safety, and you're just out here driving like a fucking fool, well then say you go to a company like Walmart, say you get lucky and you don't get in any trouble, and then you go to a company like Walmart and you fucking start driving like that, you probably ain't gonna last long there. At least Roehl, even if you don't stay with them, they're setting you up to drive safely, drive the correct way, and maintain a good CDL career. So yeah, I gotta respect them for that. I do gotta respect them for that. But yeah, so that's what phase 3 to come. Do the close quarters course. I'm gonna be out for like 2.5-3 weeks. I'm gonna be back before Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna head out the 1st. I'll probably be back like the 22nd, 23rd, so I'll be out for 21-22 days. Which, by the way, speaking of that, I got the exact amount of time for anybody who's wondering how long you got to be out for home time. 11 days, which is the minimum for national. 11 days is 3 days home. 18 days is 4 days home. 24 days out is 5 days home. 30 days out is 6 days home. And 36 days out is 7 days home. You can't stay out longer and rack up more than 7 days. 7 days is the longest home time they'll allow. And you can't roll over any home time. Say you got 5 days home time one time, you take 3 days, you still have 2 days left, you can't roll that over to your next home time. You have to use it or you lose it. And that's how they do home time, at least for national, which is what I am. So yeah, I'm probably gonna stay out till 22nd, 23rd, and I'm gonna come back for Thanksgiving for the family, and then head back out right before the beginning of December. But that's phase 2 right now, or that was phase 2, and I'm really excited for phase 3. Since I'll be on my own and in my own truck, I'm gonna bring the GoPro along, and I'm gonna try to. My trainer told me Roehl's not too big on videos with them, while you're out there and everything like that. So I don't know if I'll be able to get like actual footage while I'm out there driving or loading, strapping or whatever. I don't I don't know if I'll be able to get that kind of footage. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna talk to my FM, ask him about it. If I can't get any footage like that, then at least when I'm doing like my resets or I'm done for the day, I'll make videos. Just chilling in my truck, I'll make videos and keep you guys updated on how it's going on my journey so far. So until again, YouTube, which you'll see me in my truck next video I make. Y'all keep it real. Bye.